My boyfriend raped me. How do I know he won't do this again? This is really hard for me to talk about and I haven't told anyone about this. I'll try to explain it the best I can. I'm 16 years old and I'm a male and I'm bi. I've been dating a guy from my work. We'll say his name is Ryan. He's 22 and we've been dating for a few months now. It started off as just a friendship and we got pretty close at work because he would give me a lot of advice on stuff happening with my family, and also he'd give me rides because I don't have a car. I started going to his apartment more and more and then when we started dating I pretty much moved in with him. A lot of my stuff is there and since he gives me rides to work it was just easier to stay there and also because I don't have the best home life anyways. We usually just kissed, slept together and that was the most we ever did because I told him when we started dating that I wasn't ready to do anything more. But over the course of our relationship he's pressured me more and more into doing other things. It's technically been consensual and I never said no to doing them but I definitely felt like I didn't always want to be doing it and I feel like the way it always came about was in a way where I couldn't say no even if I wanted to. For example, he'd mention all of the things he's done for me and hasn't gotten anything in return, like how he's letting me live with him, how he pays for my food, stuff like that. And I felt like I owed it to him to do that stuff. But I was also very firm about how I didn't want to go all the way with him yet, so we pretty much did everything except sex. Fast forward to last night, I was at his apartment and we were smoking weed and watching a movie. In the middle of it he went into his room and came back out and handed me a brand new laptop. He had bought it for me as a Christmas gift but wanted to give it to me now so I could use it for my online classes. I was really surprised and totally wasn't expecting to be getting something like that from him and thanked him. But then immediately he said something like, "So how are you going to actually thank me for this?" Long story short, I ended up giving him head. Then he started taking off my clothes and I was really high at this point and didn't really know what was going on. I told him I didn't want to do anything else tonight, but he just acted like he didn't hear me. So I started saying, "I don't want to do this," a bunch of times and kept telling me to relax and calm down and that it would be fine and that I'm only freaking out because I'm high. At this point he was pretty much on top of me and I don't think I could have gotten away from him if I tried. We ended up having sex and it was literally just on his couch and it didn't even feel that good because I was so upset and overwhelmed that it was happening. In the morning when I woke up I just felt so gross and I left without saying anything to him and I'm really upset about the whole thing. I don't know what to do about it now because I don't want him thinking he can just do that whenever he wants with me. I'm really confused about why he doesn't respect my boundaries when it comes to that. He's a great person in every other aspect of our relationship and I don't know what to do anymore. He's not a great person. He raped you. He will do this again. He's been grooming you so he could and he will get worse. Get out now. Strongly consider reporting him. You need to be safe and he is not safe to be around. He is not a great person at all. He's a 22-year-old man that is pressuring you, guilt-tripping you into doing more than you're comfortable with, and raping you. You might technically be the age of consent, but there is no way he's not taking advantage of you. I'd report him and get the fuck away from this predator. Do you have any other adults in your life, good friends that care about you that you could stay with or seek help from? Please, 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 leave now. He has bulldozed through every single boundary you've tried to implement. He has no respect for you and will always manipulate you. It's unhealthy and unsafe for you to be with him. End the relationship? You're 16 and he's 22, which is already messed up. Break up. Edit. Also, he is totally grooming you. I hope you are feeling okay and know you're not alone in this. IDK where you are, but I'm pretty sure this is child rape and very serious. Do not talk to him at all. He is a predator, and not only the fact that there is a very big age gap, but he is in a completely different stage of life. If you want to report him. If not, then do not associate with him at all. He's not your boyfriend, he is an adult preying on children. He's a sexual predator and he groomed you. He's taking advantage of your age and lack of relative resources and attempted to basically buy sex from you in exchange for a computer. When he didn't get what he wanted, he decided to take it anyway. Call RAINN and the National Domestic Abuse Hotline if you're in the U.S. to the extent possible. Get other friends and family to help you move out. I'm not going to comment on the age difference, but the buying sex with gifts was already gross. The fact that he raped you means he belongs in jail. Frankly, if I thought you'd do it, I would suggest pressing charges. However, I will stick to get emotional and practical support for moving out. He raped you, he has no reason to change, and this type of abuse only escalates. You, make ventilator. I think you'd like to see this. You leave him. He raped you and manipulated you. He will do this again. He is not a good person. Please leave and consider telling a trusted adult. You should get counseling. Can you trust a parent or teacher to tell them? It would be good to report him, but if you can't or strongly don't want to, that's all right. Most importantly, take care of yourself. Stay far, far away from that disgusting man and keep safe. Block him on everything. If you're up to it, tell a close friend so they can back you up. Please update us. Ebby45 might have some good resources. You can find them at her account or her subreddit. I'm sorry that happened. Move out ASAP and don't talk to him anymore. Someone else said to call the police. You probably don't want to, but maybe consider it, and if you can, talk to a counselor. If you go back to him, you will show him that it wasn't bad enough to leave him. He will think it's okay to do it again. You'll just come back anyways. You leave him. Go to the police. You need to get away from this person. At 22 I would have hesitated dating a freshman in college. Someone still in high school has no business with someone out of college. This man is grooming you. All of that pales in comparison to the fact that he raped you. If you don't want to report, block this guy, get into therapy and tell a trusted adult. This guy knew what he was doing. He picked someone that is fighting with their family, provided comfort to gain your trust and move you away from anyone else. A complete predator. Contact RAINN if you need assistance and resources, or even a local LGBTQ group. Sweetheart, he's abusing you. Please, please, please get out. Don't trust him or anything he says. You don't. He will. Leave. You put his ass in jail. That's it. That's the whole solution. He will do it again. Nope, he's not a great person. Call the cops, kid. He will do this again and he is an asshole, so do not believe what he says is right now. He will tell you all the things that you wanted to hear from him to stay in this relationship. He will hurt you again and you will be in a miserable life if you stay with him. Keep reminding yourself that you deserve a better man and the treatment in your life, so no matter how painful it is for you to break up with him, this is the right thing you need to do in order to make your future better with someone else who is for you. Leave him. He's basically using you as a sex worker, saying you owe him sex because he buys you food, and raping you after buying you a laptop. If he buys you something, he sees it as permission to do something that really hurts and traumatizes you, something you've made clear that you don't want. And that isn't even touching on the fact that you're a minor, which means even consensual sex here is lawfully rape. This man doesn't see you as a partner, he sees you as a vending machine for sex. Leave him. Police. You don't. Call the fucking police. He will do it again. He's got a taste for knowing he's the one with the most power in your relationship. To make it worse, he's pedophiliac. Normal 22-year-olds do not touch 16-year-olds with the intention of having a relationship with them. Tell your parents and go straight to the police or another adult you trust. Once a line's been crossed, it only escalates. The truth is you can't trust that it won't happen again. You are in an abusive situation. He is literally demanding sex for his gifts and favors. This isn't a healthy relationship. Gifts don't come with sexual favors attached to them. Please move out of his apartment and break up with him. He doesn't and never will respect your boundaries, and that is a very toxic and hostile situation to be in. No means no. You repeatedly said you didn't want to. He violated your body and your trust. Pack your stuff up and leave. He is a rapist. Rapists rape. They don't only do it once. He will do this again. He'll cover it up with gifts to pressure you into, technically giving consent. He will pretend like he didn't hear your no's or misunderstood them so he can pretend he's innocent and it was a misunderstanding, potentially blaming you for giving mixed signals despite being 100% clear. I realize in gay relationships, age differences are more common, but that doesn't mean that 22-yo going after a 16-yo isn't a power imbalance. He knew you'd be easier to manipulate than someone his age. You need to run. How do I know he won't do this again? By removing this person from your life. I suggest extracting some kind of confession before calling the police. He is a groomer and predator. This is what they do and how they act. First, you need to protect yourself. You also need to think about reporting the incident. I know it is not easy and it may not be something you choose to do. But he raped you. This isn't something someone does when they care about another person. Second, I would suggest you speak to a therapist about this. While you may not think you need it, as a survivor I promise you, a therapist will help. Just make sure you research and find one that specializes in working with LGBTQ and sexual assault. Please protect yourself. You are worth more than how you are being treated. Believe me when I tell you that he will do it again. Have you seen his ID? How do I know he won't do this again? Boy, run. He doesn't respect your boundaries because he doesn't care about them. He wants to do what he wants to do. He's been guilting you into doing sexual things with him using what he's done for you. A good partner does things for you because they want to, because they love you. If they expect anything more than a simple verbal thank you, then they are no longer gifts, they're trade. He thinks you can be bought, is what I'm saying. Do you have anywhere else you can go while you think through this? Get somewhere you can properly think about everything without feeling trapped with him. This is going to escalate and it is just going to get harder for you to unpack. It's hard to see the big picture but just get out. He will. He is a sexual predator. Get away from him ASAP. He is not a great person. He is an abusive person. He raped you. It won't be the last time if you don't get out of there now. You need to see a doctor about STI testing. You also need to think about pressing charges. www.rain.org. That site has a chat option and a phone line. They can get you support and help. Please get help and never be alone with him again. He is 22 or 16. That's illegal. Call the cops. Do the right thing and report him. Just off the title and age difference, you need to leave him. Op. I'm 21 and I would never even think about dating someone under 18. Not even under 20 tbh. You cannot trust him. Please get out. This is completely awful. Everything about this is predatory and criminal at worst and disgusting at best. I urge you to find anybody else to live with if you can. He sounds like he's a very sinister person who acts all nice and caring to keep you around. You can never know he won't do this again, and regardless, even removing all these actions, each of which are individually abhorrent, let alone all of them, even then he doesn't seem like even a nice person to be with anyway. For once the advice on here seems pretty appropriate. No means no, even if she is your partner. You can avoid him and move on with your life. But he may exploit other girls in the same way. For your sake of insanity, other girls' safety, file a legal complaint based on sextortion or sexual exploitation. He had committed a crime. He should be punished by law. Okay. I quit reading at the point where you mentioned him pressuring and him letting you crash at his place and such and expecting something back in exchange. Break up with his ass. So many red flags, it's like a Trump convention. Find a guy that won't pressure you into sex. Find a guy that will let you crash at his place without expecting to be repaid in sex. You get out of that relationship with a rapist who is into minors. You said no multiple times and knew ahead of time you didn't want to and made that clear. You could also go to the police if you wanted to. Please leave him. He is a rapist and he will do it again if he gets the chance. Please leave him. I would also recommend filing a police report. Don't stay with him. I hope you read it, and first, I hope you're doing okay. Second, despite everything you say about him, you also said he's a rapist. Gifts can't make up for the fact that he raped you. Do you know how easy and simple it is not rape someone? Most of the crimes can be justified, but not rape. He's a horrible person. One thing you must do, get out of this relationship. You're not equals, he's way much power over you. You can only guarantee it by breaking up with him. It kinda sounds like you want to stay with him for the gifts. Well, you can't have the cake and eat it, too. He's manipulative and has raped you. You need to get away from him. because if he's doing this in a few months, then it will most likely escalate to something worse. Even if it didn't, he raped you, betraying trust and manipulating you. Ryan is just bad and you shouldn't stay in that relationship. Where are your parents? Please leave him. He's not a great person, he's a rapist. And you don't know he won't do this again. Get away from him. Stay safe. I am so sorry this happened to you. He raped you, he is using gifts to manipulate you, he is an awful person. A 22-year-old is only ever dating a high school-aged person so they can use their power imbalance to abuse and control them, and it is working like a charm. Even before the rape that just happened he has repeatedly abused you. Saying you need to do sexual favors for him because he does things for you is abuse. Leave this person immediately and never be alone with them again. Report them for rape. He knows exactly what he is doing. He is intentionally manipulating you to get away with abuse and it will not stop. He is a vile human. He is absolutely scum. You are only 16 and inexperienced. That is why people like him choose to go for young people, because they are easy to use. Tell your dad, tell any male relatives you have first. Ho to the cops, sorry to say this but he's a risk to more than just you and you might stop who knows how many children from being raped. I'm sorry this happened to you. If you do not feel like you can't say no, it is not consensual. Full stop. Consent isn't just not saying no, it's saying yes without pressure or coercion. The legal definition varies from state to state, IANAL, but in reality, that is not consent. So he not only raped you, but he has been sexually abusing you for a while. Shut up, silly woman, you knew I was a snake when you took me in. RFDS. You are still a child. He is grooming you and the, how are you going to thank me, is extremely toxic. He will continue raping you and if you don't leave now he will become even more abusive. This is not okay and he doesn't see you as an equal. If I were you I would go to the police. It sounds like a rough situation.